1, 2, 3, ah!
Ever wondered how four lads from Liverpool reshaped the entire music industry? It all began in the humble post-war streets of Liverpool, England. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. Four names that would soon be known worldwide. John Winston Lennon, born in 1940, was raised by his aunt after his parents' separation. He found solace in music, forming his first band, the Quarrymen, at the tender age of 15. Paul McCartney, another Liverpool native, joined the Quarrymen after impressing Lennon with his musical prowess. George Harrison, the youngest of the four, was invited to join due to his guitar skills despite being only 14. And Ringo Starr, born Richard Starkey, was the final piece of the puzzle, joining the group in 1962. Together, they formed what was initially called the Silver Beatles. The silver was soon dropped, and thus the Beatles were born. But the road to stardom was anything but smooth. They faced numerous challenges, from changing drummers to struggling to secure a record deal. But the Beatles were not deterred. They honed their skills in the gritty clubs of Hamburg, Germany, and back home in Liverpool at the Cavern Club. Their big break came in 1962 when they released their first single, Love Me Do. The song quickly climbed the UK charts, reaching the top 20. It was the spark that ignited Beatlemania, turning four ordinary boys into international sensations. It was the start of a journey that would revolutionize music and create a cultural shift, the likes of which the world had never seen before. And thus the Beatles started their journey, unbeknownst to them, towards becoming the most influential band in history. From Liverpool to the world, the Beatles' music started to echo everywhere. The small city band that once played at Liverpool's Cavern Club was now a global sensation. The frenzy, the mania that swept the globe was something never seen before, a phenomenon that came to be known as Beatlemania. The Beatles' popularity grew exponentially. Their music was different, refreshing, and innovative. They were not afraid to experiment and push boundaries. They introduced a unique blend of rock and roll with a twist of pop, adding elements of classical music, Indian music, psychedelia, and even music hall. The result was a sound that was distinctly theirs, a sound that resonated with millions of fans around the world. Their lyrics, too, were a departure from the norm. They wrote about love, yes, but also about life, about the world, about their own experiences. They were poets with guitars, their songs a canvas on which they painted vivid pictures with their words. And then there were their performances. The Beatles weren't just musicians, they were performers. They had a charisma, an energy, a charm that was infectious. Their iconic performance at Shea Stadium in New York is a testament to this. Over 55,000 fans packed the stadium, screaming, crying, losing themselves in the music. It was the first major stadium concert in history, a bold move that paved the way for future artists. But Beatlemania wasn't just about the music. It was about the Beatles themselves. Their wit, their humor, their style, everything about them was adored by the fans. They were not just musicians, they were icons. And yet, despite the frenzy, the Beatles stayed true to their music. They did not let fame change their sound, their style. They continued to experiment, to push boundaries, to make music that was theirs. Beatlemania wasn't just a phase, it was the world's testament to the Beatles' irresistible charm and talent. And as we shall see, this was just the beginning of their journey, a journey that would change the world of music forever. As the Beatles grew, so did their music. A journey that began with catchy pop tunes soon charted a course into unexplored territories of sound, style, and substance. It was a transition as bold as it was beautiful. And it began with the release of their sixth studio album, Rubber Soul, in 1965. This record marked a turning point for the Fab Four. They were no longer just boys with guitars, singing about love and teenage angst. They were morphing into thoughtful, introspective artists, pushing the boundaries of what was considered pop music. With tracks like Norwegian Wood and In My Life, they introduced elements of folk, country, and Baroque music, blending them seamlessly with their signature sound. Then came Revolver in 1966. The Beatles, now more than just musicians, were becoming sonic pioneers. They experimented with innovative recording techniques like reverse guitar, tape loops, and Varispeed recording. Songs like Tomorrow Never Knows and Eleanor Rigby were worlds apart from their earlier work, showcasing a depth and complexity that was previously unseen. But the pinnacle of their artistic evolution was Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Released in 1967, this album was a psychedelic masterpiece. The Beatles used the studio as an instrument, layering sounds and effects to create a rich tapestry of music. They weren't just writing songs, they were painting sonic landscapes, crafting narratives, and forging an emotional connection with their listeners. The Beatles were no longer the mop-topped boys from Liverpool. They had transformed into artists, exploring new territories and opening doors for others to follow. Each album was a stepping stone, a testament to their growing maturity and musicianship. They were pushing the boundaries, not just of their music, but of what music could be. The Beatles weren't just about making music, they were about creating art that transcended boundaries. Their journey from pop sensations to artistic trailblazers was a testament to their relentless pursuit of creativity and innovation, forever changing the landscape of music. The Beatles did more than just create music. They influenced a generation and the ones to follow. The four lads from Liverpool, England, permanently altered the landscape of music in ways that still resonate today. Their influence extended far beyond the realm of tunes and lyrics, touching upon every aspect of the music industry and popular culture. The Beatles revolutionized the music industry, shifting the paradigm from singles to albums. They started to see albums as a complete piece of art, rather than just a collection of random songs. This shift in perspective changed the way artists produce and consumers listen to music, laying the groundwork for concept albums that tell a story or convey a theme. The Beatles also shook up the songwriting process. They broke the mold of conventional pop songs, experimenting with unconventional song structures, chord progressions, and lyrical themes. They weren't afraid to explore topics like politics, social issues, and spirituality in their music, pushing the boundaries of what pop music could address. Moreover, the Beatles were pioneers in the concept of music videos. Long before MTV came along, they were creating promotional films for their songs. This innovative approach to marketing their music laid the groundwork for the music video boom of the 1980s and beyond. But their influence wasn't limited to the music industry. The Beatles also left a lasting impact on popular culture. They were trendsetters in fashion with their matching suits, mop-top haircuts, and later, their psychedelic attire. Their style was emulated by fans across the globe, influencing fashion trends for years to come. The Beatles also played a significant role in social movements of the 1960s. Their songs often reflected the social and political climate of the time, influencing and amplifying the voices of a generation seeking change. Their message of love and peace became an anthem for the anti-war movement, solidifying their status as more than just musicians. The Beatles were not just musicians, they were cultural icons that defined an era. Their enduring influence on music and culture is a testament to their timeless appeal, and their legacy continues to inspire artists and fans alike. The Beatles disbanded, but their music, it's immortal. The year was 1970, and the world witnessed what seemed like the end of an era. The Beatles, the band that had taken the world by storm, announced their breakup. Yet the music didn't stop. It simply took on new forms. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr each embarked on successful solo careers, carrying the essence of the Beatles with them. Lennon, with his poignant lyrics, continued to question the status quo and dream of a peaceful world. McCartney, with his knack for catchy melodies, kept the world humming along. Harrison delved deeper into spiritual and philosophical themes, and Starr, with his distinctive voice, kept the rhythm of the Beatles alive. Yet, the Beatles were more than just the sum of their parts. Their influence on modern music is undeniable and far-reaching. They pushed boundaries, experimenting with different genres and recording techniques, setting a precedent for future musicians. They showed the world that pop music could be as complex and profound as any other art form. Their legacy is not just confined to music. They changed the way we think about celebrity and fame, about activism and social justice. They taught us that music could be a powerful force for change. a tool for expressing our deepest hopes and fears. The Beatles' enduring impact on popular culture has been recognized time and again. In 1988, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, an institution that celebrates the most influential figures in the history of rock music. And their songs? They're timeless, continuing to resonate with generations of listeners. The Beatles may have ended, but their music lives on, continuing to inspire and change the world. Because in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. Their story may have ended on a bitter note, but their music still plays on, a testament to their enduring legacy. The Beatles may have left the stage, but their symphony never stops. It plays on in the heart of every dreamer who dares to imagine a better world.